Day one SEC football media days in Hoover is complete. I'm Vince Ferrar alongside Eric Kane from the starting lineup at _Kaner. I'm at Vince Sports, the station at Sports Radio WNML on Twitter. Here to wrap up day one, 3 teams, and SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey went today. Of course, Tennessee will go tomorrow. Complete coverage at 991thesportsanimal.com on our central page. You can get to that right in the middle of the page when you pull it up, or the What's Happening tab, or you can go to the shows tab as well. You can get to video, audio, blogs, a whole lot on our website. So let's talk about what we heard here in day one, Eric. We'll start with SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey and really hit on the topic of vaccinations and COVID-19, that potential impact this season in college football, which won't be right now, as it seems, like last year, but still very important on where the SEC stands on that.
Yeah, it's very important to try to, we're not out of the woods yet, is what I'm trying to say. You've seen various parts of the country, various parts of the world, rates are starting to go up. So as far as competitive athletics are concerned, being vaccinated is getting you on the right foot because you're not being tested and stuff like that. And so obviously coaches and the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference are for as many players getting vaccinated as possible. 6 of the 14 teams are at the threshold that they want to be, so that has got to climb, that has got to improve, because you just don't want what happened last year with saying, okay, well, this game's going to be paused here, let's move it around until the end of the season. They haven't built the schedule like that either, and so you hope that those type of vaccination numbers continue to climb. Yeah,
80% is that threshold, and he also wouldn't go so far as to say that if any team can't play this year, that will be a forfeit loss like some other conferences have. He did say, though, there won't be rescheduling of games, so he put the onus back on the schools to make sure that they are healthy enough to play. All right, he also talked about name, image, and likeness. No surprise, really, that he is looking for uniformity, something that at least can be some parameters, not exactly the same for everybody, but at least some sort of parameters so things don't get too out of control.
Yeah, and I think you're hopeful that will come in time. Again, this went live July the 1st, and you've seen crazy deal after crazy deal. Boosts are doing this, and there'll be something like that for the foreseeable future until this thing kind of settles down. You hope that there is some uniformity, there is some universal rules that are put into place saying this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. So that's one less thing that coaches and SIDs and compliance has to worry about. But you're not there yet, and it's kind of expected. So it's kind of like the Wild Wild West right now. But Commissioner Greg Sankey hoping that won't be the case forever.
All right. Opposite of Commissioner Sankey was Dan Mullen. Asked Coach Mullen, I did, about Josh Heupel, first-year Tennessee head coach. He spent some time in the state of Florida, obviously at UCF. And he had some nice things to say about Tennessee's first-year head coach.
Yeah, said that they have never played against, or they have never coached against one another, but he's excited for that opportunity, saying that Josh Heupel brings and plays an exciting brand of football. That's something that the fans are going to be super excited about. And so he said he's really looking forward to coaching against Josh Heupel.
I'm a little surprised he didn't talk about how good of a player he was in college, because I feel like that's going to be like everybody's go-to if they get asked about Josh Heupel. He was a great football player. We want to know about him as a coach. All right. Then in the afternoon session, you had Coach O, Ed Ogeron, did a one-on-one with Jimmy Himes on Radio Row. That was cool. So at least we got one head coach down there. And I thought, obviously the topic of the quarterbacks, Max Johnson, Miles Brennan, that competition. And then also Jimmy Himes asked him, so with name, image, and likeness, who would you have endorsed? And he's like, I don't know, probably shrimp or something like that.
That's a pretty good one right there.
Not as good as Jimmy, but your thoughts on Coach O today?
No, it's awesome. And, of course, that one-on-one sit-down with Jimmy Himes up on our website, 991thesportsanimal.com, as well as all the audio from today and throughout the week. But, quarterback, it's the topic for Tennessee. It's going to be the topic for LSU. You got a quarterback that's been there, done that, got injured, play kind of sour there towards the end. And so it's going to be quite the storyline there. But he was asked about 2019, of course, and the national championship, and everything that went into that season. He said, hey, this reminds me of 2018 a little bit, where we're kind of flying under the radar. Teams aren't thinking about us right now, but you're kind of getting that core group of guys that are setting the culture, and we'll have to see what happens from here.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. He said he went to Joe Brady, who was the OC in 2019, that record-setting national championship season. He said, how do I get your offense back without you? And he said, you hire these two two guys, Jake Peaks and Jay Mangum, and he hired both of them, and he said they could do what we did back then.
Or pay me more money to come back. Who knows?
Yeah, well, she's got it. All right, and then the other team was South Carolina, another first-year head coach in Shane Beamer. Sounds a little bit like Dad at times, I think. But, he mentioned that his wife used to work in the athletic department at Mississippi State. She used to be one of those that would pass the mic around the room to get interviews. So he's not even the first Beamer to be at SEC football media days. What'd you think of South Carolina's coach?
And again, I got to keep in mind he's a football guy. He's grown up around football. He's a coach's son. He sat up there and talked about how he was watching, SEC this morning and everything, and said, I'll probably be, a laughingstock here later on, but they were talking about this morning. And so he played into the crowd. But, I was impressed. I was impressed. And it is just talking season here. Right. But he sat down. He spoke well of his coaching staff. He spoke well of his team right now, the culture he's trying to instill. And, South Carolina's not going to win many games this year, but right now on the recruiting trail, he talked about it there earlier today, since July the 1st, South Carolina has rolled in 12 commits, a couple of those events away from Tennessee. And so things are kind of rolling right now for South Carolina, and I thought today was a good showing for Shane Beamer. All
right, quick preview of Tennessee. Josh Heupel, Velus Jones, Lante Taylor that will go in the morning.
Speed, high octane, accelerated, fast. Quarterback. That's the questions and the words you're going to be hearing tomorrow. Josh Heupel will take to the podium. Alontae Taylor along with Velus Jones Jr. I think a lot of questions about culture, changing, just trying to get Tennessee back to where it needs to be. You can't do it all in one season, but you got to start somewhere, and I think that's a lot of what's going to be talked about outside of the quarterbacks tomorrow.
Yeah, I think those three Tennessee guys will do well tomorrow. I don't know if they'll be soundbite machines, but they'll represent Tennessee very well and not make too many waves or anything negative. I don't expect. Opposite Tennessee in the morning will be the rival Georgia Bulldogs, and then in the afternoon it will be Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss and those Kentucky Wildcats, who some have ahead in the preseason projections in the SEC East as well. We'll have full recap not only on the air, 99.1 The Sports Animal, AM 990, but also at 991thesportsanimal.com, all our social media accounts. Make sure you're locked into our central page on our website. That's Eric Kane from the starting lineup. I'm Vince Ferrara. Thanks so much for watching our Day 1 recap. We'll look back on Tennessee's Day 2 from Hoover tomorrow. #SECMD21. Thanks for watching, everybody.